The Vietnam Veterans Against the War marched again to Arlington National Cemetery this afternoon and managed to enter the grounds and place 2 memorial wreaths about 50 yards inside the main gates. The veterans attempted to do this Monday morning but were turned back by the park police. It was reported that 20 or 30 phone calls from various high officials in the government were received by the superintendent of Arlington protesting the barring of the gates to the veterans. At 2:30 this afternoon, the Vietnam veterans, including amputees, walked the 2.5 miles to Arlington again and were met by park police equipped with riot clubs at the end of the Avenue of Heroes. Again, the veterans peacefully arbitrated with the park superintendent and this time were allowed to place the wreaths 50 yards inside the gates. It seemed that the presence of TV and press media and the nonviolent aspect of the Vietnam veterans was a determining factor in gaining admittance to the cemetery. Last night, because of the sometimes discouraging response from Congress and obscenities voiced by the police, veterans had a general meeting to discuss individual feelings. Some members expressed views of resorting to force if any more opposition were met, but they were loudly booed down by the majority of the vets. The overwhelming consensus of the veterans is to lobby peacefully and work hard toward reaching as many people as possible. As one Vietnam veteran from Colorado put it, "We have seen enough violence in Vietnam to last us the rest of our lives. We are sick of violence." The Colorado delegation voted unanimously to keep each other cool and never to resort to a violent act. The rest of the veterans concurred. Throughout the day, veterans in fatigue shirts with medals and ribbons pinned to their chests can be seen talking to policemen on corners, pedestrians on the sidewalks, and walking the halls of Congress on their way to visit with a senator or a representative. Guerrilla theater was also performed at designated sites around the capital city. Squads of Vietnam veterans armed with plastic M16 rifles accosted civilians, demanded identification, and punched and kicked those who could not produce any. The civilians were actors working with the veterans for the benefit of unsuspecting visitors to the Capitol. Also this morning, the Committee on Foreign Relations was addressed by Senators McGovern and Hatfield, clarifying the Senate Bill 376, also known as the Vietnam Disengagement Act. The 2 senators were backed by a gallery full of anti-war Vietnam veterans. The Colorado chapter of the VVAW will meet with Senator Peter Dominick tomorrow afternoon, and the Fort Collins delegation will talk to Representative Wayne Aspinall at 9:30 tomorrow morning. This gives the delegation about 30 minutes to convince Aspinall to vote for the House resolution to end the war by December 31st of this year. This resolution was introduced by Representative Bella Abzug of New York and lost by 1 vote in the Democratic caucus on March 31st. Representative Wayne Aspinall and Frank Evans of Colorado both voted against the resolution to disengage the U.S. from Vietnam by the end of the year. Tomorrow, the veterans will hand-deliver a packet of letters to Mr. Aspinall from Fort Collins residents who want out of Vietnam now. The Colorado Vietnam veterans are urging all concerned residents of Colorado to send telegrams and letters to their congressmen in support of the Vietnam veterans' lobbying action here. This is Ralph Swain reporting from Washington, D.C. for KCSU-FM News.